Grace Family Chapel presents The Revelation of Grace. Here is your host, Pastor Boniface Odhiambo. Welcome our viewers. We are so much blessed to come to your homes today with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we've been examining a lot about the end times, or the times of the end, which the prophets in the Old Testament wrote about, like Daniel, and equally what Jesus spoke about in the Olivet Discourse in Matthew 24. Matthew 24 is one of the discourses which are recorded in three of the Gospels, in Matthew, in Luke, and in Mark. Only John doesn't record about the Olivet Discourse, and I believe it's because he covers it a lot in his writings of Revelation. The events in Revelation, they are concurrent with what Jesus spoke about the Olivet Discourse, when the disciples took him and showed him the temple buildings and how magnificent it was. And they asked him about that building. In fact, they never even asked him. They just showed him the magnificent building. And then Jesus told them, there shall be no stone left on top of another. And then they got so curious. They wanted to know more about that. And when they sat on the Mount of Olives, they began asking him, tell us, what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And so he began explaining to them the signs of what was to come to happen within that generation. And the reason why we insist that it is within that generation is because this discussion began back in chapter 23, where Jesus was speaking war to Jerusalem, and he prophesied to them and told them, this generation, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zacharias, who was killed between the altar and the temple, will be required of this generation. So he was speaking about that generation, not any other one. And all those things he spoke about were to happen within that generation. And as we've been studying before, a generation takes a period of 40 years. A generation is not 80 years, not 100 years. There are those ones who told us that the generation which the Bible speaks about is a generation which will see the nation of Israel restored. Since Israel was restored in 1948, until today, it is more than 75 years. That is more than a generation. And we have not seen all these things which Jesus spoke about happening. In fact, he said, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by the armies, you that are in Judea, flee to the mountains. Right now, the Jews are having a war. Jerusalem, on the West Bank side, it is surrounded by the Palestinians. We're not seeing the Jews running to the mountains because it never spoke about this time. It was about that time. So today, when I speak about the earth and the heavens, when the Bible speaks about the heavens and the earth, what does it mean? Because most of us, we associate the end of the world with the removal of the earth and the removal of the heavens. So what does the Bible speak when it speaks about the earth and the heavens? The first thing we want to establish is that the earth is not going to be moved according to the scriptures. We want to see the scriptures which are telling us that this earth is here to stay forever. And if there is another one which contradicts these ones, then we can also examine them and see then what do they mean when they say the earth and the heavens were removed. Do they mean this same earth we are walking on, or a different earth? So let's begin from Ecclesiastic chapter 1 and verses 4. It says, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. He says, the earth abideth forever. Again, let us look at Psalm 78 and verses 69. And he built his sanctuary like high palaces, like the earth which he hath established forever. He builds his sanctuary like high palaces, like the earth which he hath established forever. So he says the earth is established forever. Let's see other scripture here. In Psalms 104 and verses 5. He says this, who laid the foundations of the earth that it should not be removed forever. So if this earth has to disappear, then it means these scriptures are wrong. Because it says the earth is here to stay forever. The earth is not here to be removed anytime. For those of us who think that when John saw a new heaven and a new earth, and the first earth and the first heavens were no more, it doesn't speak about this physical earth. I believe that is an apocalyptic language, which is a metaphor of something which we shall be examining in our study today. So, when it speaks about the earth, it says the earth abides forever. Psalms 93 and verses 1. The Lord reigneth, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved. He says the earth is established, that it cannot be moved. Okay, let's look again at Psalms 96, verses 10 of Psalms 96. He says this, say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth, the world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. The earth shall be established, that it shall not be what? It shall not be moved. You see? So the establishment of the earth, God has declared that this is something which cannot be removed. Psalms 119 and verses 90. Thy faithfulness is unto all generation. Thou hast established the earth, and it abideth. You have established the earth, and it abideth. We can see also in Psalms 89 verses 36. He says, his seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before me. You see, he says his seed endureth forever, and even the throne of God, his throne, as the sun, which means the sun also will not be moved. Because as long as God's throne is established as the sun, then it means also the sun remains there. The way David says here, the sun as the sun before me. It was established there. It was not getting moved. It is the earth which moves around the sun. The sun is established there in one place. It doesn't move around the earth. It is the earth which moves around the sun. That's how God's throne is established. Verse 37 says this, it shall be established forever as the moon, and as a faithful witness in heaven, Selah. You see, so the throne of God shall be established forever as the moon also, and as a faithful witness in heavens. So all these scriptures, they're telling us one thing that is common. They're telling us that this earth is here to stay. This earth is going nowhere. So when the Bible speaks about the end, does it mean the end of the earth or the end of what? What does the Bible mean when it speaks about the end? What is ending? Because now we have seen the earth is not ending. The earth is not getting removed. The earth is here to stay forever. So what is this that is ending? That we need to know so that we don't get confused. When people speak about the end times, we begin imagining catastrophes happening and this earth collapsing and there are nuclear bombs exploding everywhere and the earth is destroyed and the earth is no more and we have no place for human beings anymore. That is not in God's plan. It is not in God's covenant with the earth and with humans. He has given the earth to men for posterity. The earth is here to stay forever. The earth is moving nowhere. From those scriptures we have seen. So when the Bible speaks about the earth and the heavens, or the heavens and the earth, what does the Bible really mean? Let us look at this and see exactly what does the Bible mean when it speaks about the heavens and the earth. So number one, the heavens and the earth, they refer to the creation which God made. And this one, we see it in Genesis. Genesis chapter 1. And from verses 1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. You see, the one we have seen that cannot be moved. That is God's creation, the cosmos. That one, God created it, and we call it heaven and earth. We have the physical earth, we have the heavens, which is invisible to our physical eye, but the heavens exist just within the earth, because the heavens are his thrones and the earth is his footstool. So the way I'm seated here, if the heavens are my throne and the earth is my footstool, it means the heavens and the earth, they are joined together, they are connected. So heaven is not distant from the earth. It is just a place connected to the earth. Only that maybe with our physical eyes, we will not be able to see it, but the heavens and the earth, they are connected. So we see that word heavens and the earth, it refers to creation, the creation of God, the cosmos, which God made, heaven and the earth. We can see this one in Acts. Let's look at Acts chapter 4 and verses 24. It says in verse 24, and when they heard that, they lifted up their voice to God with one accord and said, Lord, thou art God, which has made heaven and earth and the sea, and all that in them is. You see? So the apostles, they pray to God. They said, it is you who has made the heavens and the earth, the physical heavens, the physical earth, the cosmos, and all that is in them. And again, we see it in Acts chapter 14 and verses 15. And the Bible says this, and saying, sirs, why do ye these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that ye should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all things that are in therein. So the heavens and the earth and the seas are God's creation. We see the cosmos, the physical one. This is God's creation. And again, we see this one also in verse 16, same chapter. It says this, who in times past suffered all nations to walk in their own ways. Nevertheless, he left not himself without witness, in that he did good and gave us rain from heaven and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. So we see the heavens and the earth, and we see God making the rains and all that, filling our hearts with food and gladness. Now, what is the second meaning in the Bible of the word heaven and earth? What does the Bible use or applied in the Bible in some verses when it speaks about heaven and earth? Let's look at Isaiah 13, and we want to read verses 1. It says this, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. So it speaks of what? The burden of Babylon. It speaks of Babylon. Babylon. What this chapter is speaking about is about Babylon. So we shall go straight to verses 13 of this chapter of Isaiah 13. And Isaiah writes, and he says this, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. He says, he will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. Already we have seen scriptures which have told us this earth is here to stay forever. So when Isaiah the prophet says that God will shake the heavens and remove the earth out of its place, and we've seen this chapter is speaking about what? It's speaking about the fall of Babylon. Babylon was one of the most powerful empires which ever existed on earth. And it was unimaginable that Babylon could one day be conquered. But Isaiah, the son of Amos, the prophet, prophesies, and he says God will shake the heavens. And when he shakes the heavens, the earth will be moved. Let's move to verses 19 of this chapter. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellent shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And our time is near to come, and our days shall not be prolonged. You see, so Isaiah gave a prophecy about the fall of Babylon. Remember, Isaiah is prophesying, this is 200 years, almost 150 years before Nebuchadnezzar comes to conquer Jerusalem. And he prophesies about Babylon, a kingdom which shall come, which shall be so powerful. And then he makes a prophecy how Babylon will fall. And he says God will shake the heavens and move the earth, which means Babylon was referred to as the heaven and the earth, because God removed the kingdom of Babylon when it was conquered by the Medes and the Persians. So the conquering of Babylon was referred to as the moving of heavens, the shaking of heavens, and the moving of the earth, or the removing of the earth. Conquering Babylon, it was referred metaphorically as the conquering of heavens, as the shaking of heavens and the removing of the earth. So the physical earth still remained until today. We never saw when the Medes and the Persians conquered Babylon, we never saw the earth moving. No, the earth remains the way it was. But Isaiah says the heavens were shaken and the earth was moved. Hallelujah. The earth was moved. So the heavens and the earth were referring to the kingdom of Babylon, or the empire of Nebuchadnezzar. And then also, let us see also the third meaning of heavens and earth in Isaiah again. In Isaiah chapter 1 and verses 1. Verses 2 and 3. It says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For the Lord hath spoken, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his honor, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider." So he speaks and he calls heavens. He says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken." And the context of what God is speaking about here is speaking about the nation of Israel, which has not kept the covenant. So in simplicity, Israel, God was referring to it as heaven and earth, or a covenant people. They were being referred to as heavens and earth. Let's see if this is true again in Isaiah 51, verses 13. He says this, "And forgettest the Lord thy Maker, that hath stretched forth the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth, and has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if you are ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor?" Then he jumps to verse 15, and he says this in verse 15, "But I am the Lord thy God, that divided the sea, whose waves roared. The Lord of hosts is his name. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens, and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, Thou art my people." Do you hear that? He says that he may do what? That I may plant the heavens. So at this time the heavens are already there. But God is saying he has to plant the heavens. That I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth. We already know by this time the earth already was founded many, many years back. And lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, Thou art my people. So what is he referring to? He's referring to Zion. He's referring to the people of God. He is calling them, he's referring to them metaphorically as heavens and earth, that he may lay the foundations of them, and he may plant them, and he may lay the foundations of them. Let's look again at one more verse in Deuteronomy 32, verses 1. It says, "Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth." So, here is Moses speaking to the Jews before he dies. And he's giving them his last account of how they need to obey the law of God. And he's referring to them as heaven, and he's referring to them as earth. And then he continues, "My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name of the Lord. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock, his work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment, a God of truth, without iniquity, just and right is he." And then he says, "They have corrupted themselves. Their sport is not the sport of his children. They are a perverse and a crooked generation." You see, he's speaking to the Jews, and he calls them heavens and earth. Now, historically, if you study the historical writings of the first century church, Josephus, who is the historian who is most quoted, this Jewish priest who wrote a lot about the happenings which happened in the first century, he writes and he says that the Jews, they refer to the temple as their heaven and the earth, because they believe the temple was in the middle of the earth, and the temple was the connecting point between the heaven and the earth. That is where the earth and the heavens were meeting, because the temple had a place for God which was called the Holy of Holies. You see, so the temple was the most holy place. That's why the writer of Hebrews writes and he says Jesus never entered the most holy place made by human hands. Why? Because there was another holy place made by human hands. In fact, he says Jesus never entered the heavens, which were made by human hands. Why? Because there was another heavens here on earth, which was made by human hands. And that was in the temple. It was made by human hands. It was the most holy place. And God dwells in heavens. Where? Heavens is the most holy place. And there was a most holy place in that temple. So it was referred as the heavens. And the surrounding of the temple, or the outer court, was referred to as the earth. So when John says, and the heavens and the earth were no more, and I saw a new heaven, a new city out of heavens, and it was adorned as the bride. He doesn't refer to a physical earth or a physical heavens. No. He is talking about the destruction of the temple. That temple was the heavens, and its surroundings were the earth. You see, the most holy place was referred to as the heavens, and the surroundings were referred to as the earth. You see, because there was a basin for washing, and that basin was referred to as the sea. So when the temple is destroyed, as Jesus had prophesied that there will be no stone left on top of another, that was the moving of the heavens and the earth. It was the destruction of the heavens and the earth, which John writes in Revelation, and he says, the first earth and the first heavens, they were no more. It does not talk about this physical earth we are living in. And I know many Christians are waiting for this physical earth to be destroyed. But the scriptures we have read, they have confirmed to us that this earth is to stay forever. We have found it here. We will die. We will leave it here. Generations will come. After generations will come. Others will come. 1,000 years from now, they'll be coming, living in this earth, leaving it and going, and others will be coming. You see, because it is here to stay forever. But the one that was moved, it is that one. And I know there are people who will ask me, what about Peter? Peter says the heavens will be burnt with fire and the earth destroyed with fire. That is exactly also what Peter means. He speaks about the elements that word elements is the same word used in Ephesians, where Paul writes and he says, he has destroyed the elements which were against us. And it is the law which were against us. So he was referring to the destruction of that system of worship, the Jewish system of worship, that covenant disappearing. That was the destruction of the heavens and the earth. You see, Jesus, one time, he said heavens and earth can be removed, but not a single jot of the law. Now, let me ask this question. Today, the law is no longer being practiced. Even the Jews who are living in Jerusalem, they no longer sacrifice every morning and every evening. They no longer have a priest, Levitical priest, doing the temple service and the temple worship. It's no longer there. So that system of the law disappeared. But the earth, the physical earth, is still here. So what did he mean when he said that the heavens and earth can disappear, but not a single jot of the law without being fulfilled? You see? So he meant that the law had to be fulfilled. And then after being fulfilled, it had to be removed. And the removing of that law and that system was the removing of the heavens and the earth. Why? Because this physical earth is still here. And the law is no more. You see? So the Bible answers itself. So when you hear of the end times, don't imagine of an end time that is coming, that you shall see this earth destroyed and this earth thrown, I don't know where. That one, the scriptures have said no. This earth is here to stay forever. This earth is here to stay forever. But the heavens and the earth, John says he saw a new heaven and a new earth coming out like a city, adorned like a bride. You see? And we are the real temple of God today. We are the new city of God. We are the new temple of God, where God lives. God lives in us. So we are the heavens. We are, in fact, the writer of Hebrews writes and says, we have come to Mount Zion. We have come to the heavenly Jerusalem. Yeah, we have come to the city of the living God. So that one is a confirmation that the heavens and the earth which John was speaking about is not these physical heavens and the earth. So we better open our eyes and see that the old heavens and the earth, they were already removed. That old covenant, its worship, its temple, and all that was contained in that heavens and the earth, they were removed. And another one right now is in this place where we are in Christ Jesus. God bless you. See you again next week as we continue with our series about the end times. Come and worship with us at Grace Family Chapel. You can also go and seek out for more videos on my YouTube page, Pastor Boniface Odhiambo. Pastor Boniface Odhiambo, Bonface. And you'll get all those teachings which will help you understand better about the end times. Have a blessed day.